It's been a little while since I've done a garden vlog video. There's a nice little, let's see if we can zoom in there. One of our little pumpkins there. I've had a couple little frosts, minor frosts and stuff since the last video, I believe. I think the last video we were talking about the little frost we had, and now we had our second group of frosts here. There's another one, and there's like Big Bertha number 2 over there. Probably about time to harvest everything, even though they haven't really started twisting the stems. I don't know if these guys are going to start twisting. Are they just going to turn yellow or orange and then just rot eventually? I don't know. The person I got the seeds from said that she didn't even replant these guys this year, and they came up, just from the roots or something. Maybe they reseeded. Maybe one of them, she missed a pumpkin, and maybe it just rotted and the seeds just went in the ground. I don't know. So these guys might come back every year. I'm recovering. I had laryngitis and cough and major headaches. Still not fully recovered yet. Natalie's getting sicker. Everybody in the family has been sick with some type of respiratory infection or whatever, viral infection, combination of a variety of respiratory illnesses. So I have a group of native pawpaws seeds here that I took from Natalie's parents' old property before they sold it, and these guys probably aren't super viable. They floated for like a week or more, so I've been soaking them for a while, and they eventually saturated, and I hear stories that like some of the pawpaws actually float down a creek or river, and they're in there for weeks or months before they kind of hit a spot where they settle and all that stuff. Now that we're getting cooler weather, I think I'm just going to plant them here somewhere, maybe in a little bit higher ground, and see if they get some of their chill requirements met, and see if they sprout. If not, I guess it's not a big deal, but it'd be nice to have a few native pawpaws here on the property. So I just made a little mini ditch here, about 7 or 8 inches, and I'm just gonna kind of cover them up here. Probably not the best areas to choose from, because all this area is full of Bidens, and it's not that the area is bad, it's that the time of the year where there's like thorns and weeds and Bidens that have gone to seed that are just all over you. I mean, look at my shirt. Look at that. Hundreds of them just by going out here on the edge of this property here. I'm going to cover this up with some straw. That's just, pine needles, just to try to prevent the armadillos and stuff from coming in here and digging them up. Now we have tulip bulbs. So we bought 2 or 3 discount tulip plants, that had 2 or 3 flowers or whatever in them, and they produce 4 or 5 bulbs in each one. We got small ones, big ones, and we've been refrigerating them for a while. It's a little late to plant, but I think I don't know how they would be if we left them another year, so let's just plant them somewhere. So we got this old flower bed. It looks like it has a white begonia or whatever still alive for whatever reason, and we pulled out a lot of these oxalis or whatever they are. We're just going to put the tulips in here, or at least some of them. I don't think we'll be able to put all of them in there. We'll see. So we have maybe 4 to 6 left, handful left, and we got a bunch of them in like 2. So I don't know how many we did, 12 or so, and let's see if they come up and produce some nice flowers. Obviously, we also want them to produce more bulbs. Sometimes you can have 3 or 4 or more bulbs, bulb babies, on each plant. So one flower seems like it's a waste unless you do collect the bulbs. And then next year you triple or quadruple your plants, and the next year you have hundreds, and the next year you could have thousands. Not that we have room in our refrigerator for thousands of bulbs, but we could also give some away to other people. We left these jaboticabas out. Forgot about them, that's why. And they still seem pretty good. Anyway, we have a lot of work to do. Not just on the garden, but you know, everybody's been sick. Everybody's been down. Bad weather sometimes. We definitely need to start planting some of the fig trees out, the little ones that we got, that the nursery said just hold off on planting until they harden off a little bit because they were fresh out of the greenhouse. So we need to plant them somewhere, find a place for them. And we need to work on our second little mini raised bed, you know, which is near that first one over here, with the sweet potatoes and the avocado and loquat and all that stuff, and Mexican sunflowers. So that one, probably 10 foot from this one, we need to work on it. Still a lot of papaya blooms that did not seem to get affected at all by the frost. Although, you know, you never know with papayas if they're male, female, or both. Sometimes you get one that's both and it can cross-pollinate itself. And we did one year that was seedless, and it still had the actual, had fruits that were seedless, which was very neat. I don't see any evidence yet of any kind of fruit being on the single one that's blooming. So it's probably not a self-fertile variety. Here, we're still at the same, you know, as we were before on, this is going to be the raised bed 2 with that hill up there. We got so much work to do. I know that's season 2 of the raised bed, you know, building. But season 2 is going to be here in no time, so we need to do any work we can. If we have to throw a few twigs and some dead leaves that we trim off here or whatever, just start working. We need to just throw whatever we can whenever we have an extra minute to help build up this bed here, which I don't know if I said this before or not, but it's probably going to be an avocado bed, at least avocado maybe at the top, and then plant some stuff around it, taro or something, probably sweet potatoes, beans, whatever. Despite this cold, we still have blooming, actively blooming annual Tithonias, along with some things that got some, you know, seed heads ready to be collected. You know, actively growing sweet potatoes, even though we had a bunch over here that like just died from the top, you know. And of course we got that pineapple there kind of hidden in everything. Seems to be doing okay so far. How will it do once it hits like 20, 22 degrees? I don't know. Most disappointed in this year is no sunchokes. We planted, you know, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of sunchokes, and they all died. Had some right here. Unless there's something just hidden somewhere that is hidden with overgrown weeds and other plants that's just going to take off next year, and we'll eventually see them. I'll say, what is that? You know, I mean, most likely that ain't going to happen. We didn't have any of the turmeric or gingers come up as far as the culinary stuff that I got tubers for this year. Nothing came up, which is very surprising. So I'll probably end up having to transplant live plants to the area and see how they do. They may not do well. That might have been why the tubers didn't come up. It might have been too wet, too shady, too something. Sugar Bell Tangelo, still doing pretty good, I guess. Kind of in here close to the pumpkin patch. So we got a bunch of plant material here that's going to just compost down over time. You're going to give it a lot of carbon and soil here, and hopefully some nutrients as well, and make it happy. I don't know how long it's going to take before we actually see fruit, because there's been sometimes it's been up to like 8 years to get citrus to actually bloom and produce fruit for us, and that's not normal for most people. I've been told before that if the ground is too rich, that it goes into a root growth mode for years and years sometimes, and after so many years it's established, and then it starts producing fruit. Like, that could be true, because when we have to fertilize citrus after once, the production goes down 1 year, it usually lasts, the nutrients usually last it 3 or 4 years or more before we have to do it again. So it'll go into like full production 3 or 4 years, then it'll start slowing down, fertilize it a couple times that next season, and then it'll produce, this is acidic soil, a lot of nutrients being washed down, a lot of plant materials breaking, falling from trees, and weeds. Everything is kind of feeding the soil here. So, alright, I think this video is long enough, so we're going to go ahead and just end this here. Have a good one.